Hello. Welcome to yet another compilation of scary stories. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to get your daily dose of true, scary stories. With this video, I present to you guys 5 new creepy stories that are going to keep you up all night. So let's not waste any more time and get right into the video. The following story depends on you understand the situation through text messages, so I'll be using the initials of the characters for their respective text messages. P is Poppy. I is Irene. U is unknown number. Let's begin. How do I get her to stop texting me? By Passionateberry. I met her in January. We chatted. We would pass in the halls. Later, Poppy asked for my number. I didn't think much and gave it to her. She was sweet and I trusted her. It was early June when this stuff began. P, hi Irene. I miss you, grinning face with big eyes. I, hey. How are you? P, I'm good, thumbs up, thank you. Wanna hang out? I, sure, yeah. I'll get back to you. She was kind, but something was unnerving about her mannerisms. Her tone and vibe were strange. These went on a little longer, and by June I hadn't heard from her in weeks. But then she texted. P, Irene. I didn't want to reply, but I knew I had to. A couple hours passed before I answered. I, what's up? She replied immediately, as usual. P, I'm good, grinning face, thumbs up, how are you Irene? Miss you and love you lots, smiling face with heart eyes. This was creepy. I'd only known her for a couple months, and we didn't talk anymore. She loved me. She barely knew me. I'm good. P, that's great to hear. I went to the movies today. Popcorn, we saw a horror movie. I, fun, smiley face. P, yes. It was a lot of fun, Irene. It was about murder. I didn't reply after that. I blocked her. Even if it was rude or mean or whatever, she would get over it. I'd been living happily since. But I couldn't shake the feeling that Poppy lurked. I was convinced she was here, watching me. Months passed. I always had my phone silenced, but I received a notification. I assumed it was my mom. She always bypassed my settings. But it wasn't. It was an unknown number. You, Irene. You never answer me. Pleading face, miss you, pensive face, love you, excited to see you tonight. See you tonight? Hell. No. I locked my doors. My windows. I put a chair in front of my bedroom door. I wasn't leaving for hours. I sat in fear for 15 minutes before shit went down. A notification. You, Irene. Why's the door locked? I swear I shed a tear. I called 911. I explained the situation. They probably thought I was crazy. I heard knocking at the door. You, Irene. Let me in. Surely it was the cops. You, Irene. How do you know it's not me? I felt more tears. I heard the operator say they were breaking down the door. You, Irene. Stop crying. I won't hurt you. I froze in fear. I didn't think it was possible. How did she know I was crying? You, Irene. They can't get us here. Not with the chair in the way. The police bust the door down. I yelled to alert them. I wasn't quick enough. A hand covered my mouth before I could scream. You, Irene. You really should have checked the bathroom. Glad you're in my hands now. Ready to watch the movie? I love you lots. Poppy. Sleep paralysis? Or something more sinister? By good_nefariousness 29. So I had this dream a while ago. I don't remember the details, but after a while a child maybe 8 or 9ish approached me and everything suddenly became very vivid. He came up to me and grabbed my hand saying something along the lines of, "Quick. We gotta go. Just pretend to be asleep or she'll get you." Then he led me to my body and put me back. I was laying there for a bit, still dreaming maybe, when a woman with long black hair stuck her head out of the wall above my head and started sniffing me. I could feel her hair on my face. I started to freak out and tried to move but couldn't. I could feel my BF next to me asleep and tried to reach out to him for help but could barely lift my arm. It took a few seconds, but I was finally able to move, and once I was able to, the woman quickly retreated back into the wall. This is only the second time in my 32 years of life that this has ever happened where it feels like my dream bled into reality. The first time, I was real young, maybe 5 or 6. I had a dream where the devil came to me and was trying to convince me to do something real bad, can't remember what, but I declined and he bit me on the shoulder. When I woke up, I could still feel his bite for a while before it faded. Is this normal SP? I don't really have experience with it. It scared the shit out of me, and a part of me thinks it might have been something more than just a hallucination. Has anyone else experienced this? By Shabazw. Just had a weird episode of sleep paralysis. It doesn't happen very often for me, maybe once or twice a month. I'll be trying to fall asleep when I can feel my legs about to lock in place and I have to fight really hard to break it. It's like sinking in quicksand, but actually really quicksand. I don't usually see anything when I'm in it and trying to break out of it, but I do always hear something. Tonight, just about 10 minutes ago, that quicksandy feeling was so aggressive that I just found a comfortable position and let it happen. I'm not sure why I did it. Probably just to see if it would help with the fear or if it would help me develop a new tactic in avoiding it. Of course, that wasn't what I got out of it. Instead, I started hearing leaves crunch behind my head, as if someone was sneaking up on me. An intense fear immediately shot up my spine, cold sweat and adrenaline came into play. I was convinced I was outside for some reason. I tried everything but had no chance to fight my state of being paralyzed. I had to loudly remind myself in my head that I don't sleep outside, and that I'm just dreaming, which did allow me to realize I was safe in that regard. Still paralyzed, I envisioned the door leading down into my room being slowly opened, and I finally shot up out of the paralysis. Has something like this ever happened to someone else? Being convinced you were outside/not in your bedroom and vulnerable, followed by horrifying sounds that aren't actually there? If so, I'd love to hear about it. Thank you for listening. Constantly getting clawed by shadowy figure. By worldly_anteater 9768. Had a dream I was going to the bathroom to wash my hands. It was nighttime in the dream. As soon as I finished washing my hands, turned off the water and just about to walk out the door. Suddenly, the door slammed shut and the light went out on its own. I starting to hear a demonic voice like getting louder and louder as it approaches me, then all of a sudden it started to claw me non-stop on the side of my torso. The pain felt very real as this was happening, I'm not going to lie. Once I broke out of it, I then woke up inside my bedroom, still in the dream, with the lights on, doors open. I stood up immediately to get out, but again the door slammed shut and the light went off. The door seems to be locked from the outside. A shadowy figure appears behind me, grabbed me by the neck and tossed me around the room. While all this was happening, I can still hear the same demonic voice/noise that I heard when I was in the bathroom. This went on for maybe 10 seconds, getting tossed around like a rag doll, and then I woke up from my dream and can feel pain on the side of my torso like someone had punched it several times. So I got up and turned on the light, and just when I was about to open the door, something happened. If you enjoy listening to stories like this, I'd like to let you guys know that if you have any spine-chilling crazy stories that you want to share with the listeners, you can send it over to horroxperiencemedia@gmail.com. I'll also have the link down below in the description, so don't worry, you will be able to send your story after you've finished listening. Scariest Uber Eats Delivery by affectionate_pie7232. I live in Portland, Oregon, and was on an Uber Eats delivery just like any other. I've done thousands at this point. It was for Baskin-Robbins, and the customer was only a couple miles away in a fancy apartment building. Everything seems normal. I pick up the order, I go to my car, and start heading to the apartment building. On the way there, I get a text that said, "Hey, thanks for getting my order. Could just come inside and leave it on my table because I recently got home from the hospital and cannot bend down at the door to get it." It was a little odd. I've never been asked to come inside someone's place before, but without thinking about it too much, I texted back saying sure thing, I'll be there soon. I get another text saying my apartment is unlocked, I'll be 10 foot inside waiting. Right after reading that text, I got a chill because who the fuck says I'll be 10 foot inside the apartment to the delivery guy? I get to the building and it was one of those fancy ones with the keypad entry. I was told in the app to look for Zachary Winstrom but wasn't able to find it. I was only able to find Zachary Warner. That name was also the one for the right apartment number, 220. I called the unit on the keypad and someone picked up but didn't let me in. It was kind of weird. Most of the time people are eager to get their food, so they let you in quickly. The fact that the name didn't match the order was kind of alarming too, because who misspells, or gives a wrong, last name, especially when you need to look them up on a keypad? The unit 220 that made the alleged Uber order isn't letting me in the building, even after I called and texted them on the app. Someone opened the door to the building and let me in. I was getting ready to just cancel the order and walk away. I was outside for a solid 5 minutes trying to call them or redial and be let in. I walk into the building and was greeted with the usual fancy apartment lobby crap, a nice calming floral scent that isn't too strong, the elegant lighting, marble and wood everywhere, and the complimentary tea/coffee station. I go inside the elevator and go up to the second floor. I immediately get a call from an unknown number when I step out of the elevator. I let it ring a little before answering. I pick up and it sounds like a distorted and angry male voice. I can't make out what the man was trying to say, but the man clicked on me after about 8 to 9 seconds. I get to the unit, which was cracked open just as the prophecy foretold. I knock first and get no answer. I crack the door a little more and yell, "I have your Uber order." I still hear nothing. It's absolutely silent in the apartment. My hair is standing on my back at this point. I look around the hallway outside the unit and see no one. I open the door entirely, no intention of actually going in at this point, and see an extremely dark apartment. I could just barely make out silhouettes of furniture and pictures on the wall. I shine my phone light in there and see a shadow of someone. They were behind the wall that borders the kitchen, which was to the immediate left of you as you enter the apartment. I yell "fuck this shit" and drop the order at the door, which spilled all over, and ran the fuck out of the building. The shadow could have been a mannequin or a man. I didn't stick around long enough to find out. I'm 6 foot tall and about 185. I also had a large knife and powerful taser on me, but wasn't going to risk it. Thinking back, the shadow was roughly 10 foot inside the apartment. I called Uber to report the crazy incident and they deactivated his account. I keep thinking about who was the person on the phone and what was their intention. Was this person inside a killer? Also, what's with the apartment not having the guy's name but a name similar to it? This was the scariest delivery I've ever been on.